Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. And today we're talking to Saul about the mix of martial arts and economics and how they tie together in real world.
Hello everyone, I'm Saul. Today we're diving into the wild world of fighting sports and how they tie into microeconomics. But don't worry, this isn't Eco 101 unless you're professor with Bruce Lee.
Exactly. We're talking about how pop culture has blown up martial arts and combat sports and how that affects the economy, from changes in taste, prices, pretty much everything except our questionable taste in 80s action movies.
Exactly, so let's kick this off with the changes in taste. Not like our bad taste in movies, but how public taste for martial arts has exploded. Remember when Karate Kid was the coolest thing ever because of the Karate Kid?
Totally. You had kids everywhere screaming wax on, wax off. And suddenly, every neighborhood dojo was packed. But now, thanks to pop culture moments like UFC, MMA, and even Cobra Kai, we're even seeing bigger shift in taste toward mixed martial arts.
That's right, and this shift in taste creates a huge ripple effect in the economy. Suddenly, everyone wants to train like Conor McGregor or, at least look like they do. Gyms and fitness studios start to adapt. You've got traditional karate classes losing members to Brazilian jiu-jitsu and kickboxing.
Yeah, the demand for different types of martial arts classes is changing, and businesses have to adjust to survive. So it's not just what people like to watch on TV that changes, it's where they spend their money. And speaking of money, let's talk about price changes.
Oh yeah, with more demand comes higher prices. I mean, have you seen the cost of training in high-end MMA gyms these days? Between the fancy gear, private lessons, and those specialized classes, it can get really expensive.
Yeah, seriously. The more people want something, the more businesses are going to charge for it. And it's not just gyms. Look at the price of pay-per-view events. The more popular these events get, the higher the price is for them. Remember when UFC fights were like $40? Now you have to sell an arm and a leg just to get some old boxing gloves, just to watch a title fight.
And that's where the income factor kicks in too. When people have more disposable income thanks to a growing economy or that sweet holiday bonus, they're more willing to splurge on these events, training, and all the merchandise there is.
Exactly. When income rises, so does the willingness to pay for things like that $70 UFC main event or jiu-jitsu seminar, where it becomes some YouTube famous instructor. And this is where it all goes back to pop culture again. The bigger fighter sports in the mainstream, the more people aspire to participate in it.
Which brings up the number of buyers. The more pop culture glamorizes combat sports, the more new buyers flood into the market. You've got folks who never even watched a single fight who are now buying MMA shorts just because, hey, Joe Rogan mentioned it on his podcast.
And more buyers mean more competition. Between businesses, gyms have to step up their game, adding those Instagram-worthy features to attract students, even supplements, apparel, and brands to get a boost. Everyone's jumping into the market, cash in on the trend.
Totally. Now let's talk about the expectations, which is like the future price tag in people's minds. Think about how the release of a big movie like Creed or John Wick gets people hyped up about martial arts. Before the movie even hits theaters, there's this expectation that more people are going to want to get into boxing or judo after they watch the movie.
Exactly. Businesses see that and they adjust accordingly. Suddenly, gym memberships go up in anticipation, or they start offering new types of classes to match the movie scripts. And as buyers jump on the trend, businesses know that they can charge more because people expect prices will keep going up. So they're willing to lock in those memberships early.
And honestly, expectations drive a lot of the business's decision in this world. Fighters, for example, see the potential for bigger payouts because of pop culture exposure, so they demand higher paychecks. If a fighter's name blows up thanks to a viral moment or a movie cameo, suddenly they're expecting and getting way more money for their fights.
Yeah, I mean, just look at how the Jake Paul effect influencing of boxing. Whether you love him or hate him, the guy broke a whole new audience into a sport, which shook up expectations for ticket sales, fighter pay, and how boxing is promoted through him.
We're talking about YouTubers fighting professionals here. Only in the age of viral fame does that make sense. And it's all because of the pop culture's impact on martial arts, from changes in taste to prices, income and buyers and expectations. The economy shifts with every roundhouse kick and knockout.
It's crazy how something like a fight night can reflect so many economic principles. Pop culture makes the fighting world look shiny and fun, but under the surface, it's all about supply, demand, and cash flow.
Yep, whether you're watching UFC or debating whether to take that $100 jiu-jitsu class, you're participating in a bigger economic system than you might think. And now you know.
So next time you watch a movie like Rocky or Karate Kid, scroll through MMA highlights. Just remember, you're not watching people punch each other. You're watching economics in action.
And on that note, we're wrapping it up for today. Thank you for listening to our podcast.
We'll be right back to, summarize more everyday economics about, mixed martial arts. But we'll see you guys in the next podcast.